obviously, historically, funding into female entrepreneurs has been less. Today, obviously, the concept of family offices is very new. It's taken.
Hey, ma'am, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Manshu. How are you?
It's all good this side. How's it?
All well.
It will be the first time, any woman entrepreneur or any woman investor is on the podcast, and a second time from a family office perspective. So it's gonna be like, I don't know how it will be like. It's first time a woman is here on the podcast and will be, having conversation with him. Sorry. So that's quite fascinating for me. Yeah.
So I'm surprised, Himanshu, it's the first time a woman's on your podcast. I would urge you, there are a lot of fabulous women entrepreneurs as well as investors out there in the Indian ecosystem. So make sure you call them in future. I think they have a lot of insights to offer. So I'm pretty sure I'm the first, but not the last.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Now I'm looking for more, women, female founders, VCs, and change makers to have on the podcast and dig deeper into their minds.
Sure.
So first of all, like starting with you have been into this family office investing in startups. Everyone has seen you in that horses stable and, investing in startups and all of that part. So I'll start with, most of the audience are not aware, frankly, much about the family offices. They are much aware about the VCs, angel investors, but I feel like still, early age founders are not aware about the family offices. So how's your perspective over there?
So I think in today, obviously, the concept of family offices is very new. It's taken and it's grown in the last half a decade or so, and more people are realizing its importance. Family office is pretty much a sort of an entity which helps larger families not just manage their wealth, but also and investments, but also understand the best practices and plan things for the family on how for the family to grow. So I've been leading our family office for the last 12 years, and it's been an interesting experience.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Because frankly saying out, मेरे को भी इतना family office के बारे में ज़्यादा नहीं knowledge. वैसे तो मेरे को किसी के बारे में भी नहीं ज़्यादा, but family office is the most least one, I would say. Still learning in that process. So how you are seeing like women's shaping in that family office stuff? How you are seeing the women's entering into that space?
So it's rare for women to be leading the family office or leading investment decisions, but in my interaction with a lot of them, I think it's not an alien concept anymore. There are more and more women being involved, not just in family businesses, but also they get involved in family offices, whether it is taking care of the philanthropy section or taking care of the investment section or even venture. I have a couple of friends and colleagues who are leading their venture arm of their family offices and are women. So I don't think gender should be a criteria or a role when it comes to family offices, or rather any work, right? Or any profession. I think it's important to see whether it's something which you are passionate about. And that was my case. Investments I'm an economist turned investor, right? So I have a PhD in economics, and I just started casually looking at investments and decided that this was what I wanted to do. This is what excites me every day. And that's how I kind of helped our family build this family office structure around it and take it forward. So I think gender as such plays no role in this, but yes, it's very important that all family members are involved when it comes to family offices, because the family office is not just an investment purpose or investment vehicle, but takes care of a lot of things and takes care of the family's growth and well-being. Let me put it this way.
Okay. And how do you see the funding into female founders? Because पहले तो मैंने मतलब ऐसा नहीं देखा था कि specifically female founders, but I am now seeing like certain female founder led funds like that too, and also specific funds forming for female founders. How do you see that part?
So obviously, historically, funding into female entrepreneurs has been less, and this is not just an India phenomena, but it's global. But this is changing. I think a lot more women entrepreneurs, a lot more funds are no longer putting a gender lens when they invest. And I think that is wonderful. And we also see a lot of investors specifically relating to femtech investments, which are usually women entrepreneur led. And I completely agree with you. There are funds which are coming out which focus investing specifically into women entrepreneurs. There are a lot of incubators and accelerators coming up which help and guide women entrepreneurs. I actually head the national startup cell for Fiki Flow, which is a pan-India organization of 8,000 women. And under this cell, we kind of try and create an ecosystem for women founders as well as investors. So a lot of opportunities. A personal close friend and a colleague of mine, Ankita Vashisht, she runs Strong Her Fund, which invests only into women founders. So a lot of opportunities out there. I don't think there are still barriers. Let me put it that way. It's not like it's all hunky-dory for women to raise funds. There are still barriers, but the path is a lot better and easier than what it was earlier.
100%. And also, I was reading somewhere, so I got to know like there are like 20% of the founders like are the women who get funded. And if a woman founder is funded, there is 64% more likely chances that the company would be successful.
Yes, absolutely. Like personally, I invest into a lot of women founders. My portfolio is 50% plus invested into women founders. And that's not an altruistic decision. Like it's not out of like charity or something. I genuinely believe that women founders put in more commitment to the startup. And there is, I think there's a BCG, Boston Consulting Group study, which says that women-led companies are more profitable. So it is a business decision to invest more into women founders. However, when I look at a startup, again, I don't put on a gender lens. Like that's the last thing on your mind, kind of a thing.
100%. I guess you are hearing some noise from background. That's true. From my background, are you hearing some noise?
I'm good.
You're good. So yeah, all right. So taking forward for that, like you have been also there on Horses Stable. So tell us your experience over there. Like how was it over there being, having live pitching and all of that stuff? I know like it would be a slightly difference in like pitching over a call and live pitching and investing along with your fellows over there. How was your experience over there?
I mean, it was fantastic. It was Horses Stable is my first experience, kind of being in front of the camera, kind of a thing. Something which I'm not too comfortable with, but it was a fabulous experience. The kind of founders which came on the show, the kind of investors, colleagues which I met on the show, was a whole new experience and very, very good actually. And in terms of live pitching, I think once the founders started pitching, we actually forgot that there were cameras around. The entire team made it so comfortable that it was just like I was in my office, like listening to a founder pitching, and we kept asking our questions. It is more difficult to make a decision on the spot. I must say that, to take that hour to kind of decide whether you want to bet on that company or not, or whether you want to invest into this company or not. It's more difficult than, going through a process of receiving a pitch deck, your team evaluating it, doing a couple of calls, etc. But it was a different experience. So far, the investments made have been good, so I'm quite positive about it.
एंड वन मोर क्वेश्चन जो मेरे से अक्सर फाउंडर्स पूछते हैं जब भी शार्क टैंक या हॉर्सेस टेबल जैसे शोज आते हैं, क्योंकि पहले एक वॉल्ट नाम का भी आता था अराउंड 2015 अराउंड, सो इज एक्चुअली मतलब जस्ट एक पिच के बाद फंडिंग मिल रही है नहीं मिल रही है, और इज इट जस्ट टेलीकास्टेड ओवर देयर?
No, of course, everything which happens on the show is true and live, at least with the show like Horses Table, because we're all investors in real life. You know, there is a certain amount of credibility on the line. So whatever we commit on the show stands true. However, there is a due diligence process which happens post the show as well, right? Like, so there are certain claims which the founders make, and we need to kind of cross-check that. So a due diligence process happens post the show, and I think it happens everywhere, worldwide. And depending upon that, कि अगर वो जो कह रहे हैं वो सही है, and our thought processes match and everything, then we go ahead with the investments. There are times, very rarely, but sometimes founders kind of fail the due diligence process. So, and that's when, you know, the investment either gets delayed or gets stopped. So that's there. But otherwise, not at least on Horses Table, because that's the show I've been on, nothing is scripted, absolutely nothing. So I wouldn't be comfortable any other way. So
that's why we love it. That the due diligence part that you said is absolutely, like, most of the people don't know about that. Even Mark Cuban in the Shark Tank US said like only 33% of the deals get funded who are like said over Shark Tank US. So
yeah.
the ratio is less after due diligence.
So I think at least in Horses Table, the ratio is more, in my experience. But yes, some companies do fail due diligence, and you know, you have to be accountable for what you put out there, and we're actually putting in time, effort, and money. So there is a process involved with the due diligence, which is important for every company to go through.
Now, like, again, the most asked question by the founders, since my primarily audience is like founders, people who are just breaking into VCs, people who are just starting with angel investments, all of that. So what do you look while investing into a startup?
So, you know, I personally, in terms of my investment thesis, I like to invest in early stage startups that are solving an existing problem. You know, the problem should have a large enough market size. You know, the company and the solution should have a USP strong enough that sometime in the future they have the potential of becoming market leaders. In terms of founders, I'm looking for, you know, grit, like especially because I invest at an early stage. I invest into the founder, because from a planning to execution, that's what they're going to complete. So I'm looking for founders who have a lot of grit. You know, the startup journey is very, very hard. As a founder, you're struggling when you're not growing, as well as when you are seeing too much of growth, right? Whether you're growing or not, you're always struggling. Startup journey requires a lot of tenacity, the ability to tolerate high pressures, to be able to withstand this roller coaster ride. So that's why it's very important to see what the founder is made of. In addition to this, obviously, you know, the market potential, the team, what kind of valuation are they raising at? They're all important aspects, but at an early stage, I would give a lot of emphasis on the founder and the team.
That's true. That's true, 100%. And what are the 3 things you feel like कि जो entrepreneur जब भी pitch करते हैं गलत कर देते हैं, या फिर कुछ ऐसी चीज होती है, यार ये हर बंदा कर रहा है, कोई इनको बताओ सही करे, ऐसा कुछ?
so I mean, like, because I'm an alumni of IIT Kanpur, and I keep going to hear a lot of pitches out there, and kind of advise them on how to pitch as well. So I think three of the most common mistakes, let me put it out there, is one, when founders don't know their numbers inside out. I don't care whether you're a finance person or not. If it's your business, you should know your numbers inside out. Like, you should know your profits, your revenue, your costing, your projections. It cannot be ballpark figures. Second, I think the biggest mistake founders do is they get so involved in their own idea that they feel they have no competition. This is one of the most common answers which I hear when I ask about what about competition, and they're like, "Hamara koi competition nahi hai." There has to be a reason behind. Agar koi competition nahi hai, तो justify करिए क्यों नहीं है. मतलब like don't come with this background कि मेरे पास इतना unique idea है कि दुनिया में कोई नहीं सोच सकता. Very rarely that's going to be the case. So know your competition, because today with a simple Google search, I can know who your competition is. And that for me, I lose interest in the deal, right? The minute I have to tell you who your competition is, then it's a no-no for me, absolutely. Also, I think integrity while pitching, especially in terms of your numbers, don't hype up too much of your numbers. Whatever you say, make sure you're honest, because don't kind of put up this flowery image of something which is not there. This is a very, very small ecosystem. Today, if I kind of go and try and ask a couple of people about you, most probably it'll be people will know you and they'll give back that information. So be very, very honest when you're pitching, because if your integrity is questioned by the investor, then it's not going anywhere. And in terms of pitching, I always tell this, when do you know that you've made a good pitch? What is the best result of a pitch? And in my opinion, the best result is when you manage to get the next meeting. So have that in your mind, have that as the aim. How can I get the next meeting? How can I keep that curiosity on?
Same thing. जो पहला था कि numbers को अच्छे से पता होना चाहिए. I also heard from one of the people out there. The founder asked him कि numbers को कैसे याद रखते हैं, and the person said कि अगर नंबर याद रखना पड़ रहे हैं तो फिर क्या बिजनेस कर रहा है भाई तू. अगर तू इन्वॉल्व है इन एंड आउट तो याद रहेगा ना नंबर, सिंपल. So that's 100%. I 100% agree with you in that aspect, and that's true. Yeah, that's true. And do you also receive pitch decks saying that this is a $100 billion opportunity, this is a $1 trillion opportunity?
Yeah, no, of course, we all, I mean, like I receive about 10 odd pitches every day. And this is not even counting the ones on LinkedIn, kind of a thing, which you kind of, this thing, but yeah, there are opportunities. But now, we have a strong enough filtering mechanisms where they don't even get through those, that initial top of the funnel kind of a thing. So again, on this question and advice to founders, obviously it's amazing that you know your worth, but and you want to put a big value to that, but you have to kind of see, when you make these big claims about like 100 crore valuation, my company's idea stage पे 50 crore valuation and everything, will you put in your money? So why are you asking someone else to put in the money? So they should be very cognizant. I mean, those are the deals where, again, investors very easily lose interest in the beginning because they don't see that the founders are practical, or they're not serious about fundraising. If you're serious about fundraising, you can negotiate with the investor, but there has to be some midway where they can meet you, right? So very important to put the right valuation to your company.
Yही same question when I was in my previous startup, when we were looking for raising funds. my founder was to like यार क्या valuation करे, और मैं यही same चीज आती थी यार, इस valuation पे क्या मैं डालूंगा और पैसा इसमें. So वो चीज जब stuck कर जाए ना तो वो moment sort of हो जाता है. हाँ, that's the thing.
Yes,
So
absolutely. I mean, put yourself in an investor's shoe also, like, they are also here to make money. Like this is also a business decision for them.
That's 100% true. That's 100% true. And what would you say? Like I see a lot of people who are not earning enough. Like they are just having like that's not to that's not enough, but they are looking to invest in startups nowadays, because startups have been so much glamorized that everyone wants to be an investor, but they are risking their bets. How do you advise to them?
I personally feel that maybe startup investing is not for everyone, So while I mean, there is this whole notion about, and there are a lot of success stories being put out that someone's made, 4 times their money, 10x, 100x, these multiples being thrown at people. I don't think it's for everyone. Like, it requires smaller investments also require a lot of time, effort in identifying who you want to invest into, and also it's a very, very risky investment. So if you are a new person to invest, like, if you're new into investments, identify the different asset classes you want to invest into, whether it's fixed income, whether it's equity, public markets, and then private markets. And then identify what percentage of your kitty do you want to invest into this. Like personally, we invest only 10% of our entire portfolio into direct startups. So it's a very small percentage because of the risk associated with investing into startups. Also the illiquidity. Once you've invested into a startup, it's a long-term game. Even if the startup raises the next round, very unlikely that you will get an exit. So if you need that money, then do not invest that money into startups. Only if you have patient capital for the next 5 to 7 years minimum, invest that money into startups, with the caveat that these are risky investments and there are chances that this will become zero. Very high chances. There are chances that it will become 10x, but the probability of it becoming zero is much more than it becoming 10x. So remember all of this when you're investing into startups.
That's 100% true, because मैंने पिछले कुछ महीनों में ऐसे लोग देखे हैं जो कि 100% अपनी इनकम को स्टार्टअप्स में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं. And that's मतलब importance of this question is like too much. Even if I want to start with it, so it's too much. And I also heard one thing, while that investor should take care at a very early stage. Do not lead or invest solely. Invest with other fellows too. So have your co-investors and all of that.
Yes, of course. It kind of diversifies the risk, right? Especially if you're investing initially. Invest along with a lead who has been doing this. It will help you identify the good deals, like, take away, sieve out the bad ones from the good ones, because you don't have the experience into investing into this asset class. So invest with a lead. Also, if your ticket size is small, then it's very unlikely that you'll be able to invest into good startups with that small ticket size. So there are angel networks, there are syndicates which allow on smaller ticket sizes to invest. So that's a good opportunity to invest. But I would highly, highly not recommend anyone to put in 100% of their income into startups.
That's true. That's true. I recently went to your Story Tech Spark. So there was a female founder that I met, and she told me, like, we had a fair conversation about having female change makers over the podcast, like you. So we had a conversation. She told a question that, I should ask a female founder or female people change makers. So what she said was, like, sometimes it become too hard to manage the things. It's, everyone surrounds you. Do not, it's a bit rigid over that part too. and there is a bit rigidity in your personal things that you are managing out, the society that is pressuring out all of that, and the funds managing. So how do you manage? I may not get it as a, a male founder, but from the female founder perspective, how do you manage all of these things at a single place? Because she also said, like, some founders, she sees that they have been married, they have children along with them, they are managing all the stuffs together. So how do you see that? How to cope up with that, if you can advise that stuff?
So, I mean, obviously, it is for a woman, I think work-life balance is extremely challenging. But there are so many before us who have done it, and so many who are still doing it. I think one of the most important aspects, at least for me personally, because I wear these various hats, right? Like I'm a mom.
Exactly.
I'm part of a huge joint family. I'm an economist. I'm an investor. In addition to this, I'm a philanthropist and a social worker and a change maker as well. So there are these various hats I wear, and I think each role presents different challenges. And fortunately, I've been able to adapt and deliver accordingly. I think one of the most important aspects is time management. I know this is cliche, but it is essential that when I look at managing my time, realizing that I have X number of working hours in a day, kind of aware of that fact, and then designing, organizing, and planning my day, and make sure that I monitor that while I have planned this day, I've utilized that time well. Also, learning to say no is very, very, very important. Seeing that in the larger scheme of things, if you're a founder and your goal is to take your company to that X level, learn to say yes and no to things which will help you reach that goal. So a lot of times, as individuals, as human beings, it's difficult to say no. But for women, it is very difficult to say no when somebody asks you to do something. So I think it's very important that we learn to say yes to what we love doing and no to what we don't. Create the right tribe of the tribe of right people around you. Cannot stress more on this. Have the right support system, and it's okay to lean on to people when you have created that support system. I think one of the most important things which helped me is I'm blessed to have this amazing support system, whether it's in the form of a supportive spouse, in-laws, friends, my daughter's school moms, like, I'm my health, like, everybody. I'm so grateful for this support system, because these are the pillars on which I'm able to stand tall and fulfill my dreams. So that will be some of the things at least I can share with my experience.
That was really, like, I guess that was really the full-fledged answer of what she was trying to ask at that point, but I wasn't able to answer that thing because I have not been in a shoe. So yeah, that's that's amazing. Like, I don't have words. Yeah. So yeah, that's true. Like, since we are running a bit short of time, so we do a quick rapid fire sort of stuff at the end. All right. So just to make it a bit good stuff, like, having a bit interesting in that space. So that's what we will be going to right now. So
Okay.
just a quick question, and like yes or no. All right. The questions would be maybe like from the investment part, may not be from the startup part. They can be anywhere, like just simple questions.
Okay.
So what would you prefer, having $1 million right now, or getting to the age of 20?
No, I love the
Like,
age I am at. So I would prefer the $1 million. I think I've enjoyed my 20s thoroughly. I'm quite excited to see the next decade. So I'm very, very happy and satisfied in the place and space and age I am right now. So the $1 million.
travel, or staying at one place and when it meditating or concentrating, whatever, like travel, or being a single place.
I travel a lot. So maybe right now, staying at one place, but I'm pretty sure that if I was at a place, I would want to travel again. So, but right now, I've been in and out of flights. So right now, staying at one place.
India or abroad, anywhere abroad can be, like, or India and so.
Like staying, like living. What's the question?
Yeah, living part.
India, 100%. I invest in India. I love the country. I have family here, so staying in India.
Okay, and this is the type of question, just a small one. This what we were asked in 100x VC Gurukul. I asked Ninad sir because he asked that in Gurukul, so I asked him on the podcast. So to you, whenever you close your eye, if there is one word, you are into space and you saw the earth below, the sun, stars over there, what's the one word that you will say?
Does it have to be only one word?
Yeah.
Rise.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool because I don't remember anyone saying those in the chats. It was everyone was like amazing, good, great, and all of that. Ninad sir mentioned magical. I said these words were not over there. That magical, rise, and all of these words. That's really cool. That was fun having a conversation with you and learning from you.
Thank you, Himanshu. It was absolutely fabulous. Glad we could do this this Friday morning. Hope you have a good day. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you.